Today is Monday, January 12th, 2026. I'd like to open the regularly scheduled meeting of the Allenstown, New Hampshire Board of Selectmen at 6 p.m. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board members present.
Russo, Kathleen Pelletier, Diana Norfolk, Laura Lambert.
Scott McDonald, John Harrington, also present in the room this evening.
Now, after waiting for the library
Thanks for coming.
trustee.
Armin Burville. Eric Lambert, Fire Chief.
Allison Durcott.
Mike Frasnella, EDC.
Beth Tower, Police Chief.
Anyone online? It's young, John. All right. Citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments this evening? Mike Frasnella.
The last couple of things I did before they threaded the good old website in favor of the artificial insanity that we have now, published a photo essay of renovation going on at AES, also known as the new town hall. I got a great tour from Peter DeSantis on that, took a lot of photos. And I also got late breaking photos from Armand of the move, the transfer of the Speedwagon from here to the new town hall. And what was most impressive about that is Advanced Excavating transported the garage. They also they built an asphalt pad for the new garage, which they estimated was at a cost of $4,000, and then they donated that. The Granite State Glass was contracted to remove the windows and then reinstall them when it was relocated, and that had an estimated cost of $1,000, and they donated that. And then Mike Vachon, who's one of our local electricians, he did wiring on the garage, and he donated that. To me, that's another shining example of the collaboration of business and government. I think we're a trendsetter in the state, I think, for doing that kind of thing. The last great event of that type was the rail trail with Allenstown Aggregate, donating tons of gravel and stone dust at no cost to us. All we had to do was transport it and spread it out. So that's about it. And I spent 3 lovely hours on a Saturday listening to endless questions from residents. The sad thing was that the officials at that meeting almost outnumbered the residents who appeared. So again, we have a problem with getting people interested in taking part in their government.
We did outnumber them by a lot, as we usually do. I counted 11. Did anyone else count folks who weren't elected officials or employees? I counted 11. Some came, some left, but
Yeah, I estimated about 20 officials at the dais and in the seating, and maybe 30 residents, and that was it.
on your head,
Sign on that.
there's a sign-in sheet there, ma'am. And could you state your name for our minutes?
Louise Rideout,
Thank you.
34 Roland Drive. Yeah, so.
Mike, you all set? I think your timing may be perfect, Louise. Do you have a question for the board or comment?
Did I? Yes, I do have a question. I talked to Senator Pearl a little while ago. And I have a question that I know that the budget is, I didn't get to go to the budget meeting, But I was wondering, have you thought of another solution to be able to collect the money that's owed to the town? And are you open to try to lower the extra assessment that we have at Bearbrook State Park, Bearview Crossing Cooperative? All of the mobile home parks in this town have an extra assessment of $15,000. So is anybody open to trying to maybe lower it to 5% and not 15%? Because right now, my taxes are $4,500 a year on a manufactured mobile home, plus the lot rent that it covers the land taxes. So I was just wondering, like,
Louise, so as far as collections on past due property taxes, we did follow through with the liening and deeding process this year. So that has begun. We worked out a certain number of payment arrangement plans and actually perfected, took the steps to perfect some deeds on some properties that were unpaid. So I do think we're resolving that issue. It will take time. We won't ever be able to collect everything in one lump sum, but we're moving in the right direction. As far as the assessment on the mobile home parks, so what that assessment entails is the mobile home parks are their own private property and they have paved their own roads that the town doesn't
we
maintain.
pay for everything.
Yeah, and the playgrounds.
Mhm.
So when the assessors come out and they assess the private property, they look at all those what they consider amenities. And that's what that extra value is. It isn't something that the town sets, it's stipulated by state law. So we actually have no say over that extra assessment.
Is
that you
it,
see.
do you have the actual law so I can bring it up to the senators and reps to see if they could possibly bring it up to the rest of the legislators to see if there could be help for us, because, you know, it's quite a bit of money. I mean, I don't think I should be paying $4,500 for a mobile home in the town of Allenstown. And when you said about the deed, so that means that you're gonna put liens on the property?
The liens do usually get perfected, but for some years, the board was not following through with actually deeding the property. And a lot of times just deeding the property means the town can take ownership of the property. It doesn't ensure that those taxes get paid, especially if the previous property owner just relinquishes control. What it would then allow the town to do is to potentially sell that property and recoup that tax money that's owed. We haven't ended up having to sell any of the properties that we've deeded. I believe people have come in and redeemed and paid the amounts that they needed to pay on that to at least get caught up.
Well, I know in the co-op, there's a lot of money owed to the town from the co-op. And I was wondering, when you said about the owners, if a deed has more than one owner, but they don't live there, how does the town deal with, you know, places that, you know, people that have two owners? Both owners are responsible.
They are, and all owners that are listed will get notified of the lien process and the deed process. And when that property is deeded, it is taking the property rights of both owners. So if the property is taken from both of them.
So if they have any type of assets, you're not able to,
Yeah.
It's just the
only
lien.
asset, yeah, it's just that property that they owe taxes.
but how does that affect like the co-op, the other members of the co-op? Because if you have a lien on it and say they don't sell anything, you know, say they just leave or they don't pay the taxes. How does it affect us if you wanted to take control of the property? How long do you wait until it's something that the town would think about, you know, taking? Is there a monetary value of what a person would owe? Say if they owe 10,000. I mean, we have people in the park that owe $10,000. So if they owed is there a certain amount of money that you say, like, well, they're up to 5,000, what should we do? Should we, you know?
By law, they have to be delinquent 2 years and a day before the town can even consider deeding the property. So they have a little while, depending on what their tax bill, that balance could grow to. And they may be making payments, just not payments in full during that time period. So I think your question is there a set amount that we would say we're deeding at this amount? And that's historically not how it's done. It depends on what the balance is once they're delinquent at that 2-year mark, if the town's gonna move forward with it. The mobile home parks as a co-op though, a lot of times, if they're behind on their taxes, then they also be behind on their rent. And it's actually more beneficial because the town's concern is recouping just the property taxes. So when we take an action on a home, it isn't necessarily for the benefit of the parks. It may be more advantageous for the park as a whole if you have people that are behind on their rents, that you take whatever enforcement actions you can as a park.
Well, I do hope that you realize our rules and bylaws state that as a member of the cooperative, we are required to pay all state and local taxes.
Yeah,
So
that would be
being a
something
member,
You could
yeah.
enforce though, that you're.
we could, and we do try to say that at meetings and everything, that, we are responsible. Because it seems that if the taxes are doubling, then there's too many people not paying.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, that's to me, like, that's the bottom line, and obviously expenses have gone up, and Senator Pearl did mention about the educational part. And are you John Harrington?
I am.
Hi, John, I spoke to you about that, the funding for the school.
Yes.
So, one of my neighbors told me that we didn't get the grant money for the
Yeah.
school.
That I am not sure of, and
Okay.
that would be something that I would direct probably to the school board. for
Okay,
clarification.
thank you. I appreciate your answering the questions,
No
thank you.
problem. John, could you get that RSA?
I will find that.
Okay, wonderful. So John will reach out to you.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Cause it might be something that, legislation can work on to give us a little bit of relief.
Yeah.
You know? Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. Any other citizens' comments? Hearing none, we'll go straight to our regular agenda, our town report cover. And then brought some pictures in.
I'm gonna brought 5 pictures in, if you wanna pass them around, those are choices we can make on potential town report covers.
Can I pick one?
Multiple covers, man, people collect the whole thing.
There a historical component included in this year's town report, and that's why those.
No,
Particular
we were
photos
just
would
looking
be
for
considered.
photos.
I like the locomotive.
Yeah, I'm happy to decide.
That was my favorite.
This picture's on really cool. It's really neat to see it. Now, would we include the wording with the pictures?
On the back of the cover.
Choice. I like the first one. I like seeing the block. Oh. Sorry.
If you really can't decide, I suppose I could ask the printer if they could make smaller versions of the picture and put them all on.
Trish, which one did you like? Well, I think you're going the direction I'm thinking is that historically, when we've had these picture on the cover, there is content in there more than just a brief description of what the picture is. The cover relates to a story or an article in the report. So I kind of like that idea. And maybe just having, you know, a brief page about, you know, some history of the town.
What is covered?
Expanding on just with those pictures of that.
So put all 5 on.
Yeah, that's my.
Is it normally just one? Picture?
Typically, it's one, I've seen a couple before.
We can have them all.
See?
We could do a collage of 5 and put a write-up on the back of each of them.
I didn't want to have to choose.
I was seeing the trend here and I wanted to. Now I'm making a promise I don't know if I can fulfill, but I'm gonna ask the printer to do it, I think they can probably do it. Yeah.
Then we can put them all in a bucket, close our eyes. One person.
So we're gonna go for the collage,
Sounds good to me. Yes.
alright, good, thank you. You all have a sheet in your packet as a proposed dedication.
But, I have a question, John. I think you've already done this, sent a thank you to Advanced and last company, shame on me, it's right.
Granite State.
Granite State. On you. You sent them a thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I thought we had.
Would the same be true of any of the donors for the Christmas gifts and? I think the donors for this.
Yeah, we did.
We letters sent out to those.
We did both with something that we can.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, I thank them all. Because as we were working with them, it was, but it's not gonna be right at the letter.
We all in agreement?
Yeah.
Future town hall.
Work continues to move along. Peter's been meeting with different vendors, he's not here tonight. Date of what he's learned, but I do have 3 payment requests for the board this evening. KPMB Enterprises did $4,089.96 worth of plumbing work at AES to move some hallway heating units out of the way so they can cut the doorways. If you'd like me to read all 3, they're all coming out of the same capital reserve. You can make one motion if you'd like. Granite State Glass, $2,000 invoice. They are moving the interior, if you're familiar with the inner vestibule, the inner double doors, they're glass that lead to the hallway. We're repurposing those for the gymnasium on the interior. It's $2,000 to take those doors out and replace them over in the gym. That saves us the cost of buying doors. And the last one was for Granite State Glass to install the new outside doors for the public to get into the gym with the new doorway at the side of the building, and that's $8,910. Coming out of the new municipal building capital reserve fund with a balance as of November 30th of $459,049.
Make the motion that the board approve these expenses that John has provided for us for improvements to the new town hall.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Tricia,
Kathleen, I.
Diane, Laura,
Scott, I.
Thank you. And that was it for my town report.
Wow.
The holidays kind of slow things down.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Oops.
For those of you who were at the budget committee, we did a little bit of housekeeping on the last three table warrant articles. For article number 22, which was the change to the veterans credit because of the RSA changing the staffing rule. I just need a recommendation from the board, because we did not have a quorum when that came up, so that I can add it to the warrant. Anybody want an overview of what this is?
no, but maybe you could read it again.
Sure. Shall we modify the provisions of the previously adopted RSA 72:35 to increase the current tax credit of $2,000 to the minimum allowable tax credit of $2,500 for the service-connected total disability on residential property?
I'm in favor of recommending it.
A motion,
The motion to approve the warrant article for the
change in
change
total disability service credit for veterans.
stated. If you want a second, then I'll second. Oh, sorry.
All in favor?
Tricia,
Kathleen, I.
Diane, Laura,
Scott.
Two other items you need to work on, article number 23. Which is the petition warrant article. The budget committee voted to remove their entry for recommending. So that entry line will not be part of the warrant article. Does the board of selectmen want to follow the same path?
I'm good with that.
All those in favor?
Yes. I.
You need
That-
a motion or just a?
No. So that's
Yeah.
unanimous. And the second petition article, which is Article 24. On the establishing a revolving fund. The budget committee also voted to take out the limited line on that article. This is to establish a recycling
Okay.
revolving fund.
I'm good with that.
Yep, that's fine.
Unanimous? Thank you. Thank you.
Can I
And
just ask real quick, so that solar farm electricity contract, have we gotten anything from them? Did we?
not yet, we're still gathering the electric bills that I've got to get that data to them. And just one correction for the public and for the other trustee that showed up tonight. There was, I checked back with the auditors about the capital reserve fund for the library. Because Kathleen had questioned why would they recommend closing it? Apparently, when I asked them, they indicated they would never recommend closing a capital reserve fund. And it's likely they got made a mistake in the article number and the year of the article. So they're researching that and they will get back to me, so we won't be closing that fund. You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
Now, this stuff.
All right. We've got not quite as many forms as we usually have to sign, but I know I had one with Allison's name on it. I know I had it in this packet. I know it's
Reason being, we had to pull that because the planning board needs to vote, to make a nomination
for Allison to become part, then we can get the O sport. So you'll see that in two
When
next.
you gave
It
it,
was.
all right.
Sorry to make you
Yes,
this.
I should.
That's so crazy over there.
Yeah.
You did not lose it.
All right. We've got a personnel action request from the fire chief. Do you want to speak?
Yes, Eric Lambert, Fire Chief. Just a quick update, before we do that. Two things, if you go, I've all watched the news, you noticed that they're saying that New Hampshire is in the, high red state for flu. So Concord Hospital and all the hospitals are now issuing masks again. Masks on the ambulance, masks in public, so don't be shocked if you're gonna try to go to urgent care, that you're forced to wear a mask again. Not a big thing for us, but some people didn't like it, so I will tell you that it coincides with our call volume because usually we do about 85 calls a month. We're at 50 in 12 days. So we're really racing. The second thing is, last Wednesday it started. The ladder truck, the tower truck would not shift from road up. We couldn't run the pump. Good thing it failed in that road because if not, we would have been towing it from somewhere. So the transfer case inside the truck that shifts that, has failed catastrophically, in the drive mode. But there's parts in there floating around to the point where there's a high risk of it causing a lot more damage, like blowing the transmission. So that case has been dropped by Wayne Perkins, which is our pump guy. The bad news is it's leaning towards the worst side, which is it blew the entire case. They just got it down today. I'm expecting some pictures tomorrow. The repair on that could be anywhere between $8,000 to $15,000. So, and I have obviously the funds we can look at using the surplus that we have, I should say what we've kind of gained a little bit for the capital reserve, the revolving fund this year. I'm working with John to look at other avenues, because that one repair would be 3/4 of my maintenance line for the whole year if we were to use that line to replace that one.
Is this the newest one that we?
The tower truck. Yeah, it's 20 years old.
Okay.
So, and when we bought it, we got a warranty for the drivetrain and the pump. The warranty for the drivetrain engine transmission is 3 years, but anything else was a year, and we're 2 months past.
Of course, yeah.
2 months past. So, I will have a better idea this week when they show me what's actually broken. But what it looks like is when it shifts gears, there's forks that slide a gear back and forth. And it looks like one of the arms was broken off the fork, dropped down, and it just mashed its way through all the gears. So we'll do our best to keep it as inexpensive as possible, but I just want you guys to know that that's coming forward in the very near future. So, and last but not least, we actually had, this is a rarity, we had somebody apply to the department that wants to be only a call firefighter. And not a per diem, not traveling from somewhere, they live at 25 Canal. Very, about, I think he's 32 years old, wants career change. And seems very dedicated to be a call firefighter, so. Devin Cat comes to us from, I think he moved from Milford. But we interviewed him and I think he's actually a really good fit to bring into the department to do that. And we still have 2 openings that we haven't filled from the last time we did it. We had filled 3, but we still had 2 that were floating, so he would take one of those spots, and I potentially have 2 senior members that are no longer gonna be with us in the near future because of retirement and lapse of license, so. So he's a good fit, he's very eager to get going, and he doesn't plan on leaving town, which is good for us, so.
Chief, which truck is that's
The
affected?
tower truck. The tower truck, the ladder truck,
D2?
yep. So,
All right, thank you, chief. I move that Devin Cat, or pardon me, I move that the fire chief be allowed to hire Devin Cat as a call firefighter. Effective date 1/12/26 at the rate of $18.66 per hour.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Tricia.
Kathleen, I.
Diane, Laura.
thank you.
Scott. We have an intent to excavate 50,000 cubic yards. This is from Tebow. Map 108, is that up on the corner in our,
Yes.
108, 1003 Allenstown Road. Wow. And he is compliant and Evan has recommended pass this. I move that it has signing, has lines for all of us to sign. So I move that we sign this, approve this notice of intent to excavate for TiVo Corporation.
Second.
All in favor?
Happy night, sorry, that's.
So. Got a couple of veterans extensions that have been approved. And John, if I could while you refresh my memory, how much information do I need about what you need here?
Just their name and the amount of the veterans credit, which will show up on the second page.
All right, this is for Teresa E. Ramos Carney. In the amount of $500. Evan has approved it. I move that the board approve and sign. All in favor?
Prashant.
Happy night.
Laura.
And Scott, aye. Oh, you Steph.
Medina. That's a meeting. Oh.
That one I got.
Oh, yeah. Joseph.
I think you're right. Josue Medina. That's who's got it in the amount of $2,000. I know if the town approved and signed.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be up. 2,000 is
I'll second that.
all in favor.
Prashant.
Laura.
Scott.
Write my name on that first one. Do that. Yeah, I didn't really.
Would you like to speak to the next?
Yeah,
The ad
yeah,
hoc?
just pass it down from the brokerage changes. So this is changed to the ad hoc committee for the outside elementary school conversion to the town hall. I made some changes to section 6.1.2, remove the building inspector and replace with the facility supervisor to be enrolled at the GC. Because he's doing all that work. And then I added this facility supervisor is new role, so 6.1.3 is the new role. And
6.2.2, I removed the SAU representative because they didn't attend it anyway, it really wasn't done.
Yeah.
I think our intent was so the school would be represented, but they never attended, so not to compromise our quorum, we're removing that position. And revise the building code enforcement role, oh, and then in the second part where it talks about what they actually do, I made basically the same changes from section 6. Enforcement, let's see, revised building code inspector. Enforcement role to focus on code compliance, because the building inspector is still on the committee, but focusing on compliance and not the GC. And then added the role of facility supervisor and define the responsibilities. So that's it, other than that,
Sounds good.
back down there. And there's a markup in the folder, I'll attach it when I put it in the file. It's easier to hone in on what was changed.
All right. I move that the board approve this town of Allenstown, New Hampshire document number ad hoc BOS -02 revision 2.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Trisha,
Kathleen, I.
Diana, all right.
Scott.
Spelling correctly.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yep. Last one, this is a contract. Only approved amount for, this is for the paving at the firehouse. I think we covered the money for it, John. So I move that the board approve this contract with advanced paving. To reclaim and pave, replacing the 2 parking lots and the apron in front of the station. Reclaim 2,200 yards of material. Excavate and remove excess unsuitable material, fine grade and compact, 2,200 yards. Pave 2.5-inch dense binder. Pave with 1.5 inches of a 3/8 top cover. Tack all keyways, top boat, and driveway aprons where needed. And all handwork will be approved by our agent. The cost $81,545.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Trisha.
Kathleen, I.
Diana, all right.
Scott. Finding our last forms for any other business. folks would like to discuss?
I did want to let the rest of the board know, I had shared some information with John that we did put on our website. It's an article from NHMA, titled, which is 16 things every citizen should know about town meetings. And it kind of gives a highlight of different things, like what rights the voters have, what rights do not. There's some talk about, people talk about an illegal vote, there's some information about that. And just the, some of the general operations of the town meeting and what can be done there. So I thought that would be very good information for our citizens to be able to access. It's on the website. Yeah, well, look at it, but it also have a-
Dad actually saw that and enjoyed it immensely. Like, great idea. This will help people get a better understanding of.
Was one of those items supposed to show
Wanna
up?
make some, we make some copies, you could have. We'll put them in the
You
building.
think that would be good, Jim?
I'll read it in depth anyway.
No other business, so make a motion to ratify the consent calendar of January 12th, 2026.
Also,
All in favor?
Tricia,
Kathleen, I.
Diana, Nora?
Scott, aye.
make a motion to accept the minutes of the public meeting of December 29th, 2025.
Second,
All in favor?
Tricia,
Kathleen, I.
Diana, Nora?
Scott,
oh,
Yeah.
one vote.
while that's going around.
There's one change, we're tabling the payroll manifest that will come to you this week.
Okay, I was gonna say that. I make a motion to accept the 2025 check manifest numbers 192 and 193.
Second,
All in favor?
Tricia,
Kathleen, I.
Diana, Nora?
Scott.
Probably.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna be too.
Still dated, it's 25.
Actually, I was just thinking that.
I probably should make sure we all did.
That sounds good.
I'm glad we said something because every year. The next one.
20.
Okay, good, I do, thanks,
you don't become growth, on that, so you have to be thinking about something. I do agree. Non-public,
No,
well, that's the end of our agenda.
Thank you.
That one's got,
Never finished this. You got someone pulling a fire on.
we don't have to find reasons to stay here.
I moved that,
You're having a hard time doing it, aren't you? It is.
I move that we adjourn our meeting at 6:45 P.M.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Trish, I.
Kathleen, I.
Diane, I. Laura,
Scott, aye.
I'm looking for the morning.
Yeah, not Mr.
Wait, can I go to the office? So. Wait, work all the time. She can't.
So, 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 so,
Yeah.
Bye, bye.